Hey guys, Dale here, back with a brand new RimWorld series. Sorry it has been such a long break in between this series and the last series. As usual, this episode is going to be part 0. We're just going to go over kind of like the game setup, a little bit of the background. We'll introduce you to our main characters. We'll take a look at the world, and we'll take a look at some of the key mods that we'll be using for this playthrough. So if you are not interested in that stuff and you just want to pop into the gameplay, feel free to skip part 0 and head over to part 1. I'll hang out with you guys there shortly. For everyone that's sticking around, let's go ahead and take a look at things. So mod list is insanely huge. This is going to be a medieval fantasy playthrough. It's going to be set in a world that if you've watch some of the most popular series on my channel, then you'll be familiar with it. It's the world of Thalnor, the world of House Stormguard. We have about 360-ish mods here. Medieval playthroughs are always such a huge mod list. I try to keep it around 300, if not under. So we are definitely like pushing the limits for what I'm comfortable with when it comes to like load times and just like a feeling of stability. I think we're pretty stable. House Stormguard ran for a couple decades, right? So this is about as complex as that, with a little bit of cleanup. And of course, it's a newer version of RimWorld, and it's a whole slew of mods that have been updated or recently added. Let's take a look at Graphics Setter. We'll just take a look at all the texture content that it's loaded. You can see we have a couple of the upscaled retexture packages that are taking up kind of like the top of the list. We have some style packs, medieval overhaul, oracles miscellanea, some vanilla stuff, more textures that have been added, and then some new content like elves and medieval overhaul barbarians, outland terrain, all that fun stuff. Okay, before we get into the save itself, let's pop over to the workshop and we'll just like take a look at some of our key mods. I think it's this button. Oh my gosh, it's been such a long time since I've recorded. I've been in like mod making mode, and we'll take a look at a mod that I'm working on. It'll probably be the next mod that I release. I just released grav ship roof-mounted turrets, working through some things on that. But I am gonna show you kind of the setup for the world that we created. I've been calling it Map Migrator, but it might just be more generic and be Map Tools. We're able to import the world map from the House of Stormguard playthrough, which is like 2 versions ago. Anyhow, back on track. Medieval overhaul, obviously, can't have a medieval playthrough. I feel like I can't, at least, without medieval overhaul. It just adds so much content, so much flavor, unique quests, unique biomes, and it's just so well done. I love it. We are playing with Vanilla Factions Expanded Medieval 2, so this is, I think, our second time playing with that since it's come out. So haven't experienced too much of it, but just the same, some interesting new factions. Some factions rolled into it from the Vikings mod. We didn't really do much with the Merchants Guild. We'll see if we can do more with the Merchants Guild this playthrough. And then just, of course, beautiful textures and content and all kinds of stuff to like really round out your medieval playthrough. This is a fantasy medieval playthrough, so we have the Forgotten Realms mod that adds a bunch of xenotypes. We have gnomes, we have dwarves, illithids, orcs, tabaxi, bugbears. It's all like D&D type stuff, right? Goblins, kobolds, various kinds of elves and dragonborn, minotaur, deva, and tiefling, right? So hopefully we will see a wide variety of different types of characters, different xenotypes, different races in this playthrough, like we did with House Stormguard. And then I feel like this is the mod that I kind of have like built the story around for one of our starting characters, Fantasy Biotech. I haven't had a chance to play with it yet, so this will be my first time checking it out. If you guys played with it, you have some tips and tricks for me, feel free to leave them in the comments because I always get a little intimidated when I'm trying something new, especially something that changes a lot. Um, I don't really know how much this changes, right? Like it adds this new steam power system, great. And then it basically turns the mechanoids into like these fantasy constructs. So that's not too new or different. Like I think there should be an analog for, the regular mechs in this fantasy setup. It converts all the sangophage stuff to more fantasy, and then we also have this kind of like laboratory stuff for gene editing and all that. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see how much of it we use. I definitely want to, at least one of our characters is going all in on becoming a mechanitor. So we will see a lot of that. RimWorld of Magic, I haven't played with this in quite a while. House Stormguard played with this. I love RimWorld of Magic. It is such a fun mod. And it's so well done. I love the spells. I love the leveling up. There is a lot of work and love that's been put into this mod, and from my earliest days of playing RimWorld back in, I don't know, like B16, B17 era, some of my like first colonies, this was like one of the mods that I tried out and was like, I have to do medieval playthroughs. So let's take a look. We are bringing back the faction territories and vassalages mod from the Conclave. I'm not sure if we will do much vassalizing. One thing that we didn't really take advantage of with the Conclave was we were able to get resources from our vassals. We never brought in people though, because we were living up in space. I was worried about them just being like, dropped off in space and dying immediately, but this could be a way for us to grow our colony, and I'm pretty excited about it. And then more flavor, the elves mod, just like all kinds of beautiful armor, beautiful weapons, headpieces, all that fun stuff. House Rocksmont goes real well with Medieval Overhaul. We've actually customized the House Rocksmont faction to be a Gith settlement, a Gith dominion that lives on the world of Thalnor. And that was true in House Stormguard as well. I don't know if we interacted with them so very much though. House Sanguine, they have been customized to be very vampiric, to have tieflings, other kind of like hostile xenotypes, but they definitely have an interesting territory in this world. And then Outland. Outland, there's a whole series of Outland mods. I think we have all of them. Outland Genetics helps with or is required by the Forgotten Realm mod. But there are some Outland factions, the Mots, the Redburn, the Eastbourne Empire. They existed in our House Stormguard playthrough, so we brought them back. And Outland just adds a bunch of medieval fantasy stuff, just beautifully done as well. So always happy to have that mod here. Okay, so I do have a save set up for us. If I load game, I have the Wild Reach start. And then I have two other saves. We have House Stormguard Part 5, because I imported that map into this playthrough that we're going to start up. And Azure Meadows. If you're familiar with my Blueprint series, you know that I did a build on Azure Meadows. You can find that on my channel if you want to take a look at it. We'll be using the plans from that build to plan out the coastal village that we're going to be making. And we also imported the Azure Meadows map into our playthrough. We changed the biome to a dark forest from Medieval Overhaul, and I'll kind of show you guys how that's looking. That being said, this is like a mod in progress, and I'm not sure how soon I'll be able to push it out there. Um, not sure how what features are going to be delivered with it, what feature set I want to land on, but I do have kind of like an initial version of it that I've used for this playthrough. It is very fragile. It's not very polished. And I had to redo a lot of things many times because the game crashed on me, just like all kinds of unexpected behavior from something that I was like trying to hustle together during this time away from you guys in order to bring the world of Thalnor back for hopefully great medieval playthrough. So we're gonna go new colony. Doesn't really matter. I did create a Wildborn custom start that was based off of the Rocks Knight, so I think we start with a Rocks, but this isn't us starting the game. We do Blood and Dust, reload anytime. I have, what have I done? Oh, I do custom. I set Blood and Dust here. We do Wealth Independent mode, and then I turn Child Aging way up. I turn Adult Aging up to 2 or 3. I'm going to have to take a look. And I just realized that I didn't touch the anomaly settings for starting our game, so we're going to have like default anomaly settings, and that is that was not part of my plan, but that's kind of like how things go sometimes, so we'll just deal with it. Let's hit next. Okay, so you'll see there's a new button here, Load World Template. Take a look at that, and I'll show you kind of a preview of this thing that I did. So Load World Template takes a look at your saves. This says that it's a non-standard planet size, and that is just like a reminder that we used My Little Planet when we were playing House Stormguard, and we adjusted the size of the planet. I don't have a good way to tell you what size it was set to. I can just tell you that it wasn't a standard size. I know how Stormguard was half size though, and so we're gonna set it to half size. We'll select load, and it's going to generate the world, but then it's going to overwrite it with what it knows from that House Stormguard save. So this is it. It brought in features: the Misty Wood, Ashen Shroud, Firefang Desert, the Profane Reach, all that fun stuff. And you can see we have all these placeholder settlements. When I select one, they light up because they're kind of like paired together. So this was like the Hess Wood. We can set the group to House Hess. And this was Oswin Field, so we can set this settlement to House Oswin. Well, let's set the group to House Oswin. So I went around, kind of rebuilt the world like that. I know that House Roxmont was over here. I didn't mean to do the settlement. I meant to do the group, so it looks something like that. I know that we had like the Angry Elves over here. One set of the Angry Elves, not the Crimson, the Shining Company. So yeah, that is how I pieced together part of the world. You can see that there are some injections of new biomes. So we have the lava fields down here. The Profane Reach, it kind of just like generated whatever, because this used to be Lightless Imperium, but we don't have that mod loaded right now. But if we click next, we have a little biome injection tool, so we can like paint a tile. So we could do something like, I want this to be Darkwood since these elves are angry. So we'll select this tile, we'll select Dark Forest, like paint these tiles, just kind of encapsulate it in there. And then we can paint the region. And we can give them a little Darkwood Peninsula. If we mess something up, we can undo it, but undo only works once. So don't mess multiple things up in a row. I did swap the Ashen Shroud out to Glow Forest. So you'll see that when we're in game. So this is where the dark elves live, and I figured, some perpetual darkness and a mushroomy atmosphere, that would make sense. What else? We can also rename features and move them. So like the Profane Expanse here. Last we left House Stormguard, the Profane Expanse doesn't exist anymore. Uh, and this is the Kingdom Stormguard now. So we can change the size of it, we can change the text, we can move it around. So I've done some of that, and we'll take a look at the world map in detail here in a moment. Click next, we can set tile mutators, we can disable some. If we take a look, this is what it looks like now. We can crank it up to 5x, and if we click next, it'll generate a bunch more. And then it gives us a little summary of kind of like what things look like. I didn't have a good place to put these buttons yet, but we can rename settlements if we'd like. So, we can say this is like Oswinton. So maybe that's their capital. And then we could also move a settlement around if we needed to. So little things like that just to configure all this up. We'll hit confirm, and it should tell us that we can select a tile. And this is where I imported the Azurean Meadows map. So this is a custom map that was made by Unknwn. They have a channel. They make tons and tons of maps for RimWorld, and so I'll put that down in the YouTube description. I'll link over to their channel, and I'll link to this map specifically. I'll put a link over to the build that I did on it as well if you guys are interested in watching that Blueprints episode. But I was able to load that map, and this is where it gets sketchy. This is where it breaks a lot, and where I have to start completely over and start editing this world and all that fun stuff, but it works some of the time, and I will do my best to get it working all of the time, make it a little bit more stable. We'll see what other features we can get into that map tool mod that I'm working on, but I'm going to go ahead and load in the game. We'll take a look at the world. We'll take a look at our ideology, starting map, and our colony. Well, here is our world. So I think I need to go grab like the world map beautification for these additional biomes because the mountains kind of flatten out there. So I'll do that at some point. But we have Zarkel here. If you compared this to House Stormguard, it should be pretty close. Some adjustments, like Zarkel has moved down a bit. And then we have the Kingdom of Kothane here. We have some Merchants Guild sites scattered throughout the world. It looks like we have 6 of them. They're on the opposite side of the world from us. Vathun has shrunk back a little bit, and the House Hess has also shrunk back a little bit, as this vanilla medieval 2 from Vanilla Faction Expanded Factions is new. So we've kind of added them down here in the far reach and made it so it looks like they are invading into these territories. One other thing that you'll notice is that I kind of biome coded like areas, right? So this was true in House Stormguard as well. So House Cogswyn, we can kind of see some distinct borders, mostly based on biomes. We have the Firefang Desert. All of this aspen forest is the Kingdom of Stormguard territory, and so I've set up one of the magical factions to be our Stormguard substitute right now. And their current leader is Rowan II. So you know that neither of the princes from House Stormguard were named Rowan II. Our original king was Rowan II. So this story is going to take place in this world, obviously several generations after House Stormguard, probably several generations after Revenants of Thalnor. So the Storm Kingdom, Stormguard, has been completely rehabilitated. The Divine Order has settled down in this area. The Profane Reach, not completely rehabilitated, so we have some glow forest here, so we still have some perpetual darkness in this area, but it's filled in with dark forest for the most part, and it's been called the Wild Reach. Not too many factions here. We have our custom factions that include xenotypes and names from my Patreon supporters. So we have our hostile faction, the Claws of Gif. We have the named ones. We have settled on the Wild Reach. The story behind our characters is that they heard from their grandparents or great-grandparents about the beautiful coast that Thalnor used to have. And, you know, about a workshop on the beach. And they decided to adventure out into the Wild Reach and claim some of that beautiful coast for themselves. Up here, we do have the Shattered Empire. This is the Thalnor formation. So some survivors of the Profane Legion, of the catastrophe that happened over here and spilled over into Stormhaven. These folks think that they are the rightful heirs to the Empire of Thaln, which obviously isn't much of an empire anymore. It's overgrown in dark wood. There's still some perpetual darkness. There is a border of toxic forest, and they themselves are right on the edge of that toxic forest and Scarlands, living in arid shrublands. Cloudgrove, nothing really changed with them. The Canewood, so this is some dark elves, some cultists. We have House Sanguine here in the Sanguine Forest. We have Neanderthals in the Cradle of the First Men. Arcane Fold is up here. We have some High Elves over here who are friendly. Some Barbarians that have moved into Grimwater Fen. Tribals living in the Misty Wood. Dark Elves living in the Ashen Shroud. We have the Acadia Republics over here, so Central, East, and Western Republics, kind of closed off from a lot of the world, but I imagine this is probably a pretty beautiful area. House Soren right there. Let's close that. Oh, map preview. I was like, what happened? We have more High Elves, but they're hostile down here in the Selwyn Woods, and I think that covers most all of it. So we'll pop into our map, just hit escape. Let's go ahead and turn our panels on, and this is our starting cast of characters. We'll undraft them so we can see their faces. We have Brix and Bella Cogswyn. They are twins. They are siblings. We have, and they're forest gnomes. We have Dunmore Stonehollow. We have Aldrich Harwick, and we have Marn Aldfen. So Brix is going to be our Mechanitor. He is all about mining and crafting. Fast walker coordinated. His sister is a warrior, so she is a gladiator. This is one of the hero classes from a RimWorld of Magic. So she is she's the muscle. She is our front line. I just thought it would be adorable to have like a little gnome warrior kind of like taking on the world. So there we have her. Dunmore is, what is he, a shield dwarf? He's a shield dwarf, and he's a geomancer. I think he's all about the mining and crafting as well. Not as good at crafting as Brix is, but we'll have plenty of places for Dunmore to kind of set up like a little dwarven enclave. Harwick, he's a baseliner. He's a human. He is a farmer's son. He's a woodsman, so he is basically like the hunter hero class. And Marn here is a druid hero class. So we have a proper party. Everyone has like a class of some sort, except Brix, who we're hoping to have become a Mechanitor with the Fantasy Biotech mod. There should be an introductory quest to get us a mech link or whatever they're going to call it. It's said within like the first 2 weeks. So here in this first quadrant, we have some starting dried meat, components, silver. This rock's ours, Slinker. I think we have some other animals as well. We have Willow. Oh, are you a Great Dane? One of the largest Great Danes are dignified, elegant, and strong. So we got a Great Dane, we got a Rox, and oh man, this map. It is a beautiful map. So we have like a little island down here. Oh, I think we have an ancient danger. We have a lot of mountains, so enemies can come in from this way, over here, this way, and then of course all of that. And I did import my plans from my blueprints episode, so we'll use those as kind of like the baseline. We'll probably build a lot of this, but we might make some adjustments to it. So I am thinking I like this island. That could be like a good defensible location, right? Like people would have to come around this mountain to get to us. We could defend a bridge there. That could be a good starting location for us. This area over here could also be a good starting area for us. We could like wall this off and then set up a choke point here so that enemies come in from either angle. But I think that's going to be it. Ideal Legion wise, this is not the Ideal Legion that I set up. I set them up with, I set up for us to start with a fluid ideology. So I'll have to make a change there. I didn't edit any of these ideologies either. So I might go through and take a look at some of these ideologies and edit them just to make them fit kind of like culturally with the different factions that we have on the map. But we are going to start with a fluid ideology. So we'll get all of them converted over to that fluid ideology, and we will kind of develop things as the series comes along. But that's going to be it for part 0. Thanks for hanging out with me, you guys. I'll see you guys over in part 1. As always, until next time, have a good one. Bye.